A Consumer Reports investigation tested 41 infant formulas and found PFAS, arsenic, lead, and BPA in many of them. These are not trace amounts. This is what your baby could be getting every day. 7 formulas have safety concerns, and I will show you the 3 that are actually clean and safe to use. Number 7, supermarket store brand formulas. These are the formulas most parents reach for first. The Walmart Parents' Choice, the Target Up and Up, the CVS store brand. They are often half the price of name brands, and for families managing a tight budget, that matters enormously. Consumer Reports testing found PFAS and heavy metals in many popular store brand formulas. Not one brand, many. The budget positioning means lower ingredient sourcing budgets, less rigorous third-party testing, and less transparency about what is actually in the formula. When you are paying $5 less per can, something is being cut. Often it is the testing. I want to be transparent. These formulas meet FDA nutritional requirements. Your baby will not be malnourished. The concern is not nutrition. The concern is what else is in the can alongside the nutrition. And if store brands concern you, the name brands are not automatically safer. In fact, some of the most trusted names in infant nutrition have their own documented problems. Number 6, various formulas with detectable contaminants. Roughly half of the 41 formulas Consumer Reports tested had detectable levels of PFAS, heavy metals, or both, half. That means if you pick a random formula off the shelf without researching it, there is approximately a 1 in 2 chance it tested positive for a concerning contaminant. This is not a fringe issue with one rogue brand. This is an industry-wide pattern across conventional formulas. The problem is that most parents have no way of knowing which half their formula falls into. Labels do not disclose contaminant testing results. Brands do not volunteer this information. You are relying on third-party organizations like Consumer Reports to do the testing that the FDA does not require before the product hits shelves. This is where it starts getting more specific, because the next products are not just part of a broad pattern. They have documented issues tied to testing or regulatory action. Number 5, Similac Alimentum. Similac Alimentum is a hypoallergenic formula specifically marketed for infants with cow's milk protein allergies and colic. Parents choose it because their baby is already struggling. It is positioned as a solution for sensitive, reactive infants, the babies who arguably need the cleanest possible nutrition. Consumer Reports testing reported higher arsenic levels in Similac Alimentum samples. Inorganic arsenic, specifically, the form most associated with health risk, was found in a formula given to infants who are already physiologically vulnerable. Infants process and eliminate toxins differently than adults. What the body can manage at 30 years old presents a different risk profile at 30 days old. I want to be transparent. Similac Alimentum remains on the market and meets FDA nutritional standards. But for parents choosing it specifically because their baby needs extra care, the arsenic finding is information worth having. The next product tested even higher. And like Similac Alimentum, it is marketed directly at the most vulnerable infants. Number 4, Abbott Nutrition Elecare Hypoallergenic Formula. Elecare is an amino acid-based formula for infants with severe allergies, gastrointestinal conditions, and malabsorption disorders. It is not a standard formula. It is prescribed for babies with the most serious digestive and immune challenges, infants who genuinely cannot tolerate anything else. Consumer Reports testing found the highest inorganic arsenic levels of all 41 formulas tested in Elecare samples. These were the highest levels in the formula given to the sickest infants. Infants whose compromised gut lining may absorb contaminants at even higher rates than healthy newborns. The gap between what this formula is marketed to do and what independent testing found inside it is significant. Now here's where the stakes shift entirely, because the next 3 are not just contamination findings from independent testing. These are FDA actions, official recalls, documented safety failures that triggered regulatory responses. Number 3, Enfamil Nutramigen. Enfamil is one of the most recognized infant formula brands in the world. Nutramigen is their hypoallergenic line recommended by pediatricians for infants with cow's milk allergies. It is sold in hospitals. It is on pediatrician recommendation lists across the country. Consumer Reports testing found BPA and acrylamide in Nutramigen samples. BPA is an endocrine disruptor. It mimics estrogen in the body, the same category of concern we discussed in the baby lotion video. Acrylamide is classified as a probable human carcinogen, both in a formula that pediatricians personally recommend to parents of allergic infants. The brand's authority is genuine and long established. That is exactly what makes these findings matter more, not less. 2 more. And these are not testing findings. These are recalls. Products the Food and Drug Administration determined should not be on shelves. Number 2. Enfamil Pro Sobi, simply plant-based infant formula. Enfamil Pro Sobi is a soy-based formula, the go-to option for parents avoiding dairy, managing lactose intolerance, or raising plant-based households. It has been on the market for decades. It has a loyal following, strong brand recognition, and the kind of pediatrician familiarity that comes from being a category staple for a generation of parents. That familiarity is exactly what makes this entry significant. This is not a fringe brand or a new product without a track record. This is one of the most established names in infant nutrition, chosen specifically by parents who have already thought carefully about what they are feeding their baby. Parents who switched away from dairy formula for a reason. Parents who believe they made the safer, more considered choice. Enfamil issued a voluntary recall of specific Pro-Sobi batches due to possible contamination with Chronobacter sakazaki. Chronobacter is a rare but serious bacteria that can survive and multiply in dry environments, including powdered infant formula. In healthy adults, exposure rarely causes serious illness. In infants, especially newborns, premature babies, and immunocompromised babies, the picture is entirely different. Chronobacter infection in infants can cause bacterial meningitis, inflammation of the brain and spinal cord lining. It can cause sepsis, a life-threatening bloodstream infection. It can cause necrotizing enterocolitis, severe intestinal damage. In the most serious cases, it causes death. The mortality rate for Chronobacter meningitis in infants is estimated between 40 and 80%. Among survivors, the majority experience lasting neurological damage. This was not a precautionary measure taken out of an abundance of caution. This was a documented contamination risk, serious enough that Enfamil, a brand whose entire commercial existence depends on parent trust, determined that pulling product from shelves was the necessary response. A brand with decades of trust. A product chosen by parents making deliberate, careful decisions. A bacteria that kills infants. That combination is why this is number 2. Number 1 is different from everything else on this list because it did not stop at a contamination finding or a voluntary recall. Number 1 resulted in a confirmed botulism outbreak across multiple U.S. states. Number 1, ByHeart Whole Nutrition Infant Formula. ByHeart launched as a premium, clean label alternative to conventional formula, direct to consumer. Marketed to exactly the parents who watch videos like this one, parents actively trying to make better choices. The branding was built around transparency, quality sourcing, and doing things differently from the big formula companies. The FDA recalled all ByHeart baby formula after an infant botulism outbreak was linked to contamination across multiple U.S. states. Not one case, multiple states. Botulism in infants causes progressive muscle weakness, difficulty feeding, a weak cry, and can lead to respiratory failure. It is a medical emergency. The brand that positioned itself as the clean alternative to conventional formula was the one that triggered a multi-state botulism recall. A brand that specifically targeted health-conscious parents, built on a promise of doing better, failed at the most fundamental level of infant food safety. That combination, the marketing promise and the reality, is exactly why this is number 1. Now check the formula in your cabinet. If it appeared in Consumer Reports contaminant testing, the full results are publicly available at consumerreports.org. If it has an active FDA recall, that is searchable at fda.gov. The information is there. Most parents just do not know to look. Next, the 3 formulas that are truly clean, safe to feed your baby with complete confidence. Number 3, organic infant formulas with lower contaminant testing results. As a category, Consumer Reports highlighted organic formulas as having lower levels of heavy metals and BPA in lab testing compared to conventional formulas. This is not a guarantee. Organic certification covers ingredients and farming practices, not contamination testing. But as a starting point, when independent lab testing consistently shows lower contaminant levels in organic formulas, that pattern is worth acting on. The mechanism makes sense. Organic sourcing restricts synthetic pesticides and fertilizers that are associated with heavy metal soil contamination. Organic processing standards restrict certain synthetic additives. The result, across testing on average, is a cleaner contaminant profile. Not perfect. Cleaner. I want to be transparent. Organic does not mean contaminant-free. It means lower on average in testing. That distinction matters when you are making decisions for a newborn. Number 2. Bobby Organic Infant Formula, Bobby, European Standard Organic Formula. Bobby was specifically designed to meet European infant formula standards, which are stricter than FDA requirements in several areas, including restrictions on certain additives, tighter limits on sugar sources, and higher thresholds for organic ingredient sourcing. European regulators prohibit corn syrup solids in infant formula entirely. The FDA does not. Bobby chose to follow the stricter standard anyway, not because they had to, but because they built the brand around the premise that the European bar is simply better for infants. They modeled their formula on EU regulations that American brands are not required to follow, and then brought that standard to the US market. That is a meaningful decision. It costs more to source ingredients to that standard. It requires more rigorous supplier relationships. Bobby made that choice while keeping their pricing competitive with conventional premium formulas like Enfamil and Similac. Bobby is USDA organic certified. No corn syrup solids, no maltodextrin as a primary carbohydrate. Their whey to casein protein ratio is modeled after breast milk composition, a formulation priority that many conventional formulas do not prioritize. They are consistently rated highly in independent safety and quality guides, not just for what they include, but for what they specifically chose to leave out. Their ingredient sourcing is documented and publicly available. You can read it, you do not have to take their word for it. No major recalls, no contamination findings in independent testing, no class action history. For a brand that launched relatively recently in a market dominated by Abbott and Mead Johnson, that clean record is worth noting. For parents who want a formula that voluntarily exceeds the baseline the FDA sets, not because regulators required it, but because the brand decided the higher standard was the right one, Bobby was built to do exactly that. Bobby sets a high bar. Number 1 clears it. Number 1, Happy Baby Organics Infant Formula. Happy Baby Organics undergoes extensive third-party safety testing beyond what the FDA requires. Their heavy metals testing results are published, and their contaminant screening process is documented. They do not ask parents to trust the label. They provide the data behind it. USDA Organic Certified, no BPA, no synthetic preservatives, no corn syrup solids. Their DHA sourcing uses algae-based omega-3 fatty acids rather than the fish oil or synthetic versions found in many conventional formulas. The full ingredient and testing transparency is what separates Happy Baby from a brand that simply says it is clean, available at Target, Whole Foods, and online. Comparable in price to Enfamil and Similac premium lines, so you are not paying extra. You are redirecting the same spend toward a formula with a documented testing record behind it. Share this with a parent. Hit like if it helped. Subscribe for more breakdowns, and comment which formula you use.